and welcome back to the channel. Please like and share the videos that I post, and please subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. It really means a lot and keeps me motivated to post new and interesting chess videos. So today I'm gonna show you a game of mine that I played in the Dubai Open 2025. In this game I'm playing with the white pieces against Grandmaster S.L. Narayanan, who needs no introduction. He is one of the strongest players in India, and his peak rating was very close to 2700. So, and currently he's 26. So, this game is very interesting. Please stay tuned till the end. So, without further ado, let's begin. I had the white pieces and I opened with e4. He played c5, the Sicilian, knight f3, d6, d4, c takes d4, knight takes d4, knight f6, knight c3, e6. He goes for the Najda variation. I played bishop e3, e5, and instead of the usual knight b3, I played knight f3, which is also an interesting line. Aims on creating a more positional game. He played knight c6. Bishop e7 is the main line, after which I play bishop c4, and knight c6 is also interesting. I played bishop c4, bishop e6, and I played bishop b3. The thing is, if I trade the bishop, I can no longer fight for this d5 square, and it's protected by the pawn. So that's why bishop b3. He played knight a5. Now the threat is not knight takes b3, but actually knight c4. Knight c4 is more of an issue. I played bishop g5, and I sidestepped from all this knight c4 stuff, and he played bishop e7, bishop takes f6, bishop takes f6. Now I removed a key defender of the d5 square. In this knight f3 line, the fight is for the d5 square only. Yeah, castles, rook c8, and now I played knight d5. I don't care about the bishop here because my knights are gonna be too strong. And he played bishop e7. Note that taking on d5 is not a good idea because now my bishop is just a monster in the center of the board. Bishop e7 and c3. c3 is an okay move. We played castles, bishop c2. I thought I should prevent any f5 ideas and just dominate the center, but I just simply allowed knight c4, and it's not so good for me. It's rook b1, uh, and now the position is slightly unpleasant for me. I mean, bishop g4 is an interesting try. The idea that he'll take on f3, and I can't take with the queen because, like, knight d2 will be a fork. For example, a sample line, let me show you. h3, bishop f3. I can't take with the queen because knight d2 is there, and I just can't prevent. Like, if I move one rook, the other will be under fire. So I prepared against this, like, uh, by taking. I plan to take with the g pawn and open this. For example, yeah, let me show you the sample line. King h1, bishop f3, g f3, and I just wanted to start an attack here in case he played bishop g4. And the position looks like there are no problems, no serious problems. And he played b5. I played queen d3. Now, if bishop g4 comes, at least I'm not under pin. Queen d3, I want to play rook fd1, and then maybe knight d2 is also possible now to create his strong knight. He played rook c5. Now the thing is, if uh, bishop takes d5 comes, I have to take with the e pawn, and this will allow f5. For example, let's say I play any move, a4. Okay, you play bishop d5, e d5, and f5. And I don't have that bind anymore on the center. Moreover, his attack is gonna be very strong. I played b4, forcing him to retreat with the rook. Rook c8, and now he provoked a weakness, and now the c3 pawn is gonna be weak. I played bishop b3. He played bishop d5, queen d5 now. See, now if e takes d5 would have been the case, then things would have been different. Queen c7. Now he's threatening knight b6 and winning the pawn on c3. I played rook bc1, as my rook on d1 isn't doing much, and I want to bring my other rook to d1. King h8. Now he's planning for an assault on the king side, at least it seems so. Or maybe just a calm move, getting away from the pin. I played a4 because I noticed that um, I should just expand on the queen side and try to create some entry point. Knight b6, queen d1. I was under time pressure, and b takes e4 was the best move according to the engine, but it's not so natural because you just leave this weak pawn on a6, and you have to go for, I think, the queen with queen c4 and target the e4 pawn. But I agree, it's not so natural for a human being. Queen c6, a takes b5, as like I have only two moves basically in this position, either a5. a5 I did not like much because of knight c4, so I took a takes b5. A takes b5. Note that he won't take with the queen because this leaves the a6 pawn very weak, not hanging. Yeah, and queen takes e4 is just simply a terrible move due to b takes a6, and my pawn is far advanced on the queen side. He played a takes b5, queen e2, defending the e4 pawn plus keeping an eye on this b5 pawn. G6. Now I noticed that f5 is not possible because at least e takes f5, rook takes f5, and you can see that this diagonal is very weak. I can just take advantage of it with something like bishop c2, I guess, or even a killer move, bishop e6. He played g6, played rook fd1. Now I'm keeping an eye on the d5 square. I may play bishop d5 now and plant my rook on d5, targeting this b5 pawn forever. King g7, and now f5 entirely is not possible because, okay, I played rook c2, yeah, and let's say he plays f5. I take on f5. He takes with the g pawn, let's say, or the rook, it doesn't matter. Let's say the g pawn, yeah, because rook takes f5, you saw bishop e6 is there. Knight d4 now. The thing is, I'm threatening the queen, and I want to hop in with my knight to the e6 square and fork the king and the rook. I'm winning an exchange, and if e takes d4, queen takes e7 check, and black has a poor, miserable king. Rook a8. He wants to take control of the a file before me. I played c4. Now, as I was low on time, I wanted to simplify the position, and b takes c4, bishop takes c4. I want to take advantage of his backward pawn, and queen a4, rook b1, knight takes c4, rook takes c4, rook fb8, and I played h3. It's always good to clear your back rank before doing any committal activity. Queen a2, I took on a2, rook a2, knight e1. Now this I was particularly proud of myself for this move because, yeah, I just want to go knight c2, knight e3, knight d5, and plant my knight on the center of the board. Bishop d8, knight c2, h5. Rook d1, I target the d6 pawn and played rook b6, knight e3, bishop g5, knight d5, rook b7. I played rook b1. Now I plan to push my b pawn all the way till here, at least for now. He played rook a5, and yeah, he wants to stop my b pawn from advancing. And uh, at this point, the computer already shows that I'm like plus 1.25 or something, but it's not easy for a human, especially under time pressure. Yeah, rook a5. The thing is, I don't want to take with the b pawn because rook takes b1, king h2, and rook a1, and that lose my trumps. Rook c6. I played rook c6 because you just can't play rook d7 due to the pin getting removed, and bishop d2. And according to the engine, I'm just winning here if I played rook b6. Well, the point is, I want to trade one of the rooks, and okay, a sample line goes like this: rook b6, knight b6, rook b5, knight d5, and I want to run my king all the way up and just push, push. His king might come to defend, but of course, if it's me pushing, like there's no questioning it. I played rook takes g6, greedy approach, rook b5, rook c6, and bishop b4, knight c7. And I thought that I tricked him because rook c5 just doesn't work due to this, and rook b6 just takes a knight e5, I fork, knight c7, and the only move that remains is a rook a5. I thought what rook c4 is there and I just win, no? Because rook a4, knight d5. Well, the thing is, he can play rook a7, and if I win his bishop, he'll win my knight, and it's a drawn endgame. Instead, I opted for a worse move, just miscalculating. Knight e8 check, king f8, knight d6. I thought that he's just forced to play rook b8, rook c7, and I'll win this f7 pawn. But what did I miss? Bishop takes d6. If rook b8 check, king g7, and despite a check, I just can't save my exchange, I have to give it back. I played rook bb7, bishop c7, rook c7, rook a1 check, king h2, h4, rook e7, king f6. He is trying to convert, and yeah, rook b7, rook a4, f3 to defend the e4 pawn, rook a5, yeah, king e6, rook d6. I don't have to take because king d6. The thing is, if I play g3, he plays g5, something like this, and his king is just way too fast. What I calculated here, by the way, was like something like g8 4, g8 4, king g2, king c5, king f2, king d4, king e2, king c3, king e3, king c2, king e2, and now he could have played something like f6. He always has this useful move. And if I play something like king e1, king d3, king f2, king d2, and I am losing. So why even to bother calculating all of that when I can play just rook a4 and continue the game? Yeah, king f6, rook a5, rook e6. He wants to move his king. Rook a7, rook e7. Now I'm not allowing him to do so because if king g5, then rook f7 is there. The pawn hangs. Rook e7, rook a5, king g5, g3. I prevent his king's entry by g3, rook c7, rook. Now the thing is, I can't. If I take on e5, it gets a bit complicated after king f6, and Let's say if I play rook b5 or something, rook c2, king g1, hg3, and his pawn is very annoying and my pawns are weak. I did not want to risk it, so I played rook a2. He played rook c3, king g2, f5, and e takes f5. G takes f5, g takes h4, king takes h4, and now I played rook to e2. I just want to target this e5 pawn. He played rook c5. I played king h2, king g5, king g3, king f6, rook a2, rook c3, check, king g5, h4. I played rook a5, and now if rook e3, I can just simply play at least king f2, and yeah, he has to play f4. Yeah, f4 is basically anyway is gonna come. King f2, rook c2, king f1, king h4, rook e5. Now it's just a draw. King g3. He tried rook a5, rook f2, king g1, rook g2. He's not. He's delaying to take the f3 pawn, but yeah, he's just trying some trick. But yeah, rook e3, rook e3, rook e2, rook b3, rook f2. I just gave some checks. King g2, king f2, king g1, and we just agreed to a draw here. Yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this game. See you soon. Goodbye.